If you missed any of the most important XRP news in September, here it is. Dan Fisher sent out his month's report. Everything is going to be gone over right away, and I will tell you more about each of these changes. Just give Joey your money. You can get a Joey card that works with MoonPay from Google Play or the App Store. First Ledger and XRP Cafe are worth a look. Now people will be able to use and keep track of that other cash. XRP Scan now has this change. The dates and times for voting on changes is now accessible, so it's clear when the vote happened, who voted for or against the change, and how long it took for it to go live on the main net. For the community to have a better idea of what changes can be made and how long it took for those changes to be accepted, among other things. Don't forget that 80% of validators must say yes for 2 weeks for it to happen. This would set a new XRP record. Zaman has news. The fact that it needs confidence lines is one of the biggest issues with XRP. Z-Men move forward. 2. 1 solves that issue. To send tokens without trust lines, use checks. The gift is given and taken when it's time. Not any more stress. Coins that use the XRP method have come a long way because of this. If you want to look at some of this on its own, there is a link to it all below. Laws were changed again on the XRP system. Make sure digital names are correct, and we are going to check your details soon. It talks about domains and dexes that give permission. We're getting there. The first certificate has also been made. This is from September 3rd. The XRP Ledger's credentials tools are now up and running. Businesses and developers can use it to handle compliance rules and identification checks right on the chain, so they don't have to manually approve each account. Checking a user's details, like making sure they meet Know Your Customer, KYC rules, and running multiple checks on different platforms, is a long, risky process that also makes people worry about their privacy. In this case, if you want to send money between several banks, you might need to be KYC. In other words, this means that other banks are getting your personal information. How would you feel if you could pay that bill and do those other things without having to give out your info? They would still be able to figure out that you sent the money. That's kind of what we're talking about here. This is how money will be sent from now on. Private information has been shared many times, which not only speeds up the process, but also makes it riskier for privacy. With credentials, you can give credentials, save them, and check them all on the XRP record. In other words, users can show that they meet certain requirements without having to go through several checks. This improves the onboarding process and makes it safer while still keeping data safe. A lot of other things nearby. If you're interested, please read the post. We are very excited about the new use for games that use XRP, and XRP EVM is now here. Keep technology going. In this case, full smart contracts need to be turned. It is now live on the XRP EVM sidechain. Looking forward to Mayet. Don't wait for testn.net. Take a look at these big games. Let me know if you played any of these little games. I have to say I missed this post the first time it came out. Tell me what you believe. I think Curdy had a point here. Are you a part of the XRP ledger? LF as a base and play games? XRP and B3 have joined forces to create an open and fun app layer for BaaS and games. This layer was created by base Coinbase users, graduates, and OG ETH donors. It looks like there is a link between the two in this case. You can now use the AI agent terminal to trade, study, and make plans. It is now live in public test. It says that a lander page was added and the platform was improved in the last public test. It also made the UX and UI easier to use and added new pages with education and instructions for Gen 3 labs. There are also many ties to Joey Wallet and Zaman in this. Also, AI XRP is very hot right now. You can also click on this link to go to Chain Analysis's announcement that they will accept more than just XRP. We now keep track of more than 260,000 tokens, like IUS, XLS20 NFTs, and flexible tokens, automatically on the XRP record. There are now full investigation and compliance methods that you can use. Without a doubt, it was a big deal. Krypton Ritter wrote this about how to use the XRP system to lend and borrow money. It's finally becoming clear that this is a new use case. The bubble seems to be almost over, and everyone is excited about the return and XRP5 protocols. It doesn't matter if you decide to stay or sell. Let's look at loans and decide if they're worth it. A lot of different things are talked about, such as market desire and money markets. There is a movie about this subject that I made in September if you're interested. I'm not going to read it all to you because it would make it much longer. But if yeah, this is the post. Ripple is also getting people's attention, and not just small businesses. There is good news for towns as well as troops. We're happy to say that we gave 25 million RLUSD to a fund for scanning opportunities. I'm not sure how to say it correctly, Aeon. I'm sorry about that. That's okay. Ripple is doing everything they can to help the neighborhood. Quick review of the XRP Ledger license DEX. The XRP Ledger will become a completely different animal once passwords, permission domains, and permission DEXs are added to it. To give you an idea, here are the basics of what's going on. There won't be any bloody tech talk next. 3 parts of the identity tech stack must be turned on in the XRP Ledger for PEX, or personalized DEXs, to appear and work as planned. Of course, the approval domains and DEXs, as well as the central IDs and passwords. To put it simply, P-domains are areas of the XRP Ledger that only certain people can access. Anyone can use certain features anywhere in the domain, such as a DEX, as long as they have the contract keys. There's too much words in this sentence for me to understand. He also says it's easy to understand, and he tells you everything. Read that post if you're interested. Since XRP Ledger has been used by groups all over the world, it has been shown to be the most reliable open-source settlement layer. Institutional DeFi is now live. The next part of the plan is now here. See it below. Do you find this information interesting? It says that in the past year, the XRP Ledger has become one of the top 10 chains for tokenizing real-world assets. In its first month, more than 1 billion stablecoins were used. There is a new plan for the XRP record that goes over what is live and what needs a validator vote. Also, it says that the XRP Ledger will soon have a built-in way to give money and proofs that no one knows anything about them. That happened at the very end of September, in early August. Just now, multi-use tickets were accepted. This starts in October, and schools are excited about the new tools it will bring. Guys, of course, if you want to learn more about this, there's more below. Welcome to the 7th group of people who live at the zoo. There are now 11 new residents from Australia, Poland, France, Germany, India, Malaysia, the US, the UK, Indonesia, and Uganda living with us. They came to start the new DeFi-focused group. This group of DeFi to stablecoin yield generation XRP value boosters will do their best to get the next batch of new projects to work with the XRP system. That's great. I love seeing people from around the world work together to make something they love even better. This is another report from the beginning of the year from Zaman. To us at Moonay, we added one of our biggest ways to get into the XRP system. It's been a while since the word buy, and now it's time for sell. Now you can buy and sell. I would love to see it. Okay, then XRP, this is where Soul took place. I can't play the music in this movie because it sounds like a dance song. I'll get in trouble if I do that. But as you can see, there were a lot of different types of people at the event. I believe that about 25% of all retail XRP in Korea is owned by people from South Korea. It was cool to see so many people and companies back XRP. Also, this event is really cool. I would love to see it. After that, take a look. This scene comes up. Look at that, wow. We've all seen this shot, right? That's a very interesting point that XRP Soul is making. That's really cool. Last but not least, the XRP Ledger tool is no longer called Ripple, but XRPLE to help the community grow. Ripple is short for Ripple Demon. These are not the same demons that make people lose all their money when they trade XRP on margin. It's this one that runs the program in the background. This means XRPLED is the evil XRPLED. This is a little bit above my level of pay. That one makes no sense to me. This is where you can